what so far has been your favorite book? And is there a difference between what your favorite book has been and what you think is the best written book?
Book 3 was really well written.
Was that Sirius Black, right? That one, The Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah, I like that one. What was the last one again?
Goblet of Fire?
Oh, but that was great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was very fun to read the last one. I don't think it was the best written though.
I don't go by written because I don't care. I just want
like
the story.
as a
What is your guys' ranking of the book so far? And include Order of the Phoenix in there.
Well, I can't stand Umbridge, so I'm with those people that
You don't like this book?
Don't like this book. I mean, I like him. I'm getting some answers, but
Yeah.
she's so annoying
Yeah.
that I just want to skip over her.
And it's agony because you're with her the entire book.
I know.
And even in this chapter, you learn that she was the one that set the Dementors on Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So you're like
messed
looking
up.
back and you're saying she was in this book the entire time and you just hate her and your hatred of her ramps up. So I think that's why this book is agony for some people because you just want her to get her what she deserves. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the worst.
These are really good.
I know, right? They're the best.
They're
the oatmeal
They
cranberry
soften so
Dunkers
perfectly
cookies.
in the heat of the tea.
I know.
I know.
Oh, see, I didn't. So I was like,
And then it makes your
crunching into
tea
the microphone. I was like, I probably should have softened this a little bit.
Makes your tea a little sweeter with the icing. Oh, they're so good, guys. We should get Trader Joe's to sponsor this podcast.
Seriously.
I know.
great.
It's like all Trader Joe's snacks. What is Danny, what's your ranking? Or what's your top right now?
The first book, it was special in its own way because it was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know. Looking back, I feel like the answer to that changes kind of often. Fourth is so fun to read. I will say 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 2.
Okay.
I feel so
wow.
weird because I love 2.
Yeah.
And I think one of the times I answered that was my favorite.
Yeah.
But looking back, it kind of 1 and 2 feel really similar, blending. Actually, no, maybe I never said it was my favorite. But I loved 3. 4
3
was
is
great to
pretty-
read. Oh man, they're all so good in their own way.
Hard to choose, right?
Hard to choose.
Because
That's why I'm always like, I don't know.
yeah, there's like different lists that I have for everything. I think Order of the Phoenix is actually one of the best written books that she had because that though I think she took a huge risk. Before the series was like, oh, mystery trying to figure out. And then she introduces this character that you hate, but you keep reading because it's so entrancing and it's so good. Mm-hmm. She does such a good job of putting a character that is the worst character of all time. And you still like, you're just next page. You're like, I hope she gets it. Next page. I hope she gets it. Next page. You just keep turning. I think that was actually a pretty huge accomplishment.
And she had like a really great way of going about not escalating from the end of the last book, because it would have been really easy to go into this book feeling like she has to now one up whatever she just did. So it ends with such like a face-to-face combat between Harry and Voldemort. So then to go back to like life as normal was kind of risky, even from a storytelling perspective, because is it believable? Does it make sense? But she did it so well that it perfectly makes sense. And then somehow you're going through normal life as if the Dark Lord didn't just come out of hiding. Worked really well.
Yeah. And I will say, just to get you guys excited, probably 90% of people on chat right now are saying that their 2 favorites are Half-Blood Prince and the last book. I'm not going to spoil the title, even though you could literally go and look at the title. But the last 2 books people are saying are their favorites. So they are incredible, incredible books. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
Jen.
Danny?
And Kristen.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Hey everyone, we just want to thank you for your continual support of this podcast. We are very, very grateful and fortunate that you all are listening. We have such good fans, so thank you so much. As always, go follow us on our subreddit, r/firsttimereaders. If you want to contact us, you can contact us there or at firsttimereaders@gmail.com. Also, if you want stickers or merch, we just have stickers and bookmarks actually. So just send me your info and I'll send you some stickers and bookmarks, and then we can kind of promote the podcast even more. So enjoy these chapters 31 to 32 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Also, another side note, we're doing a live read soon on not the next 2 chapters, but the 2 chapters after that, right after they go to the Department of Mysteries. So that's going to be pretty intense. And we're really excited for that. So thanks so much for listening and enjoy these chapters.
How many times have you said, like, it's just so funny that you have to keep saying the intro. And you're just so good.
I'd rather just have it in there so I don't have to like edit another one in there.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. That was supposed to be a thought, not out loud.
It's better. Any thought that pops into your head, just say it on the mic. That's what makes the podcast good. Unfiltered thoughts on Harry Potter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep myself filtered.
No.
We don't want me unfiltered.
Okay, we are in some intense chapters, as we always are. But these are kind of where this kind of gets ramped up. And this is where a lot of people are really excited for us to get to. So we're in chapter 31, OWLs. Give me a quick summary of this chapter.
So this chapter, it was taking the OWLs. So they're kind of like going through the tests. So I think it's the beginning of this. We're introduced to the people who are going to be, I don't know, what are they? The proctors of the exam. They're kind of like giving all of these OWLs, and then we're just seeing them kind of go through it, take their tests, see how they did, how they feel about it.
What happens at the end of the chapter?
Yeah, I was just going to say that is the end, right? Mm-hmm. Harry is having some trouble with his, I think, transfiguration, and he starts trying to read other people's minds, maybe try and learn some answers, and then he maybe accidentally has a vision of Sirius and Voldemort in the Department of Mysteries, and Sirius is being tortured. Mm-hmm. So
could he have accidentally been trying to read Voldemort's mind if he was trying to read the student's mind?
like he was trying to read his
Although it felt like
classmates,
he
but
was
then-
kind of working.
Yeah, it did, right?
Right?
I couldn't tell from the way it was said. I was like, wait, did he actually or not?
Did he start remembering his own notes? That's what I wasn't sure. For the OWLs.
It was History of Magic, right?
Oh, is that what it was? History
Yeah.
of Magic. Okay.
Well, I don't remember.
Yeah, because the questions are all so
Yeah.
fascinating. I didn't
I'm going to
have my
ask you guys
phone.
what those questions. Let's have a discussion.
Oh,
on
yeah, they're all
History of
so
Magic
good.
questions.
Honestly, I was like, I needed to catch up and make sure I had all those chapters finished by the podcast. But I'm like, I have to go back, do some more digging. We get more
I need to write
information
an
about
essay
this
on
and
these.
that. Yeah, they're like, we actually did learn some stuff about history.
And then Hagrid does get sacked before that, and McGonagall gets hit with 4 stunners.
McGonagall
Oh
gets
my
the
goodness, yeah.
stunning by 4
to the chest.
people.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do it in a specific area.
Like, yeah, it was so specific,
Like you were
right?
stunning her heart or something. Like what?
Right at the chest.
I guess, yeah. I hadn't thought of that either. I wonder if what happens if you stun someone's foot, if they if
And
their
they just
foot goes
can't
numb.
move.
If it's that specific, yeah, right.
Or is it? Yeah. That made me sad because I was like, these are students
Yeah.
Yeah.
stunning a teacher,
Wait.
aren't they? I thought it was her crew, Umbridge's crew, at night.
What did you gather about that, Danny?
Well,
Okay.
I thought it was people from the ministry that were coming to support her.
That's not.
Let's
Okay.
let's read.
I thought it was, what is her crew? The Umbridge crew. That's what I thought it was.
I feel like the Slytherins would have been there, but there were some ministry people because Dawlish was there. At least one ministry person. I think
I don't remember.
maybe it was some of her
names,
crew.
so.
I think Dawlish was the only one that had that was named.
But see, these Slytherins are evil because they like Umbridge. Dumbridge. Oh my gosh.
Dumbridge.
I'm
That's
She is
combining.
Dumbridge.
She sucks at magic though, so that's true. Oh, so I guess I interpreted that wrong. I thought they were all students, and I was like, wow, that's intense.
Dumbridge is really the worst. I can't stand her. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that section when we get there. But here's the first question that I have for you guys. Ron, at the beginning of this chapter, is euphoric over his victory for Quidditch. Has there been a moment in your guys' life where you've just been in that euphoric stage for like a day or like a few minutes or, you know, however long it might be?
I'm sure it's been a while.
It's been
True.
13 years.
13. It's probably longer.
I'm thinking like high school.
High school was probably the last time I had like a moment. Yeah, kind of like that.
I was thinking like when I won my dance title junior year, probably.
That's
There's been
pretty-
anything past that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I remember scoring a goal against our rivals during the state tournament for soccer in high school. And I scored it with 10 minutes left in the game. And I remember I scored it. And for those 10 minutes, I've never felt a feeling like I felt in that moment.
Such a great
It's
feeling.
just like, I did this. This feels so good. Everyone's cheering and going crazy. And then,
Yes.
it was such a good feeling.
Yeah. Mine was probably sports related too. But a specific one? I just remember two things. But it's like, it just feels good in the moment.
Yeah.
And then like at the end of the game, like, that was fun. That was cool. And that was didn't last that long.
You're not thinking about it later that day or the next day? No, a little
Well,
bit.
people
but just
bring it
not
up
the
like,
same
oh, that was such a
feeling.
great hit, or what a great play, like something like that. Maybe. Usually it was injuries. They're like, are you okay? I have like a black eye or dislocated shoulder or twisted ankle. I had so many things. They're like, you need to be in a bubble. I'm like, yeah, that's what traveled for me. Not any great plays.
Yeah, I can't think of any actually important ones, but I did have a funny moment at work where I'm sitting at my desk and I was about to get up to throw something away, and my boss Sherman is next to me and he's very sassy. And he's like, we're in the middle of something. You can't get up right now. I'm like, I'm just throwing a thing away. And then I was like, fine. And I chuck it from across the room like 30 feet. And the garbage can is like the size of a sheet of paper because it's the recycling thing. And it just went directly in. And
Oh, that's such a good
he was
feeling.
just stunned. Like he could not say a word. I could tell his brain was just going. He was trying to come up with something sassy to say. And he couldn't. And I was just like, I will never do that again.
That's fantastic.
But it did feel pretty good.
That is great.
But I wish I had like real moments of sports victory. I just throw trash away sometimes.
I've seen
That was a
one-
good moment,
Yeah,
though.
that is a great moment. I've seen one where like there was a teacher during like finals week that someone was like sitting in the rafters upstairs, and they said if you throw this piece of paper in the trash can, like he'll cancel the final. And I think the student did it, and everyone in the room went nuts. They went crazy.
And then he
Like, they should go for
retracted
that
it.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you probably had that one like your little school pranks or something, no?
The school
That's not
pranks,
like Euphoria, though.
And
That's
it's
like
different because
not?
there's like
Like,
there's
it's
they're like,
stress,
who
too.
came
Yeah,
up with
yeah, exactly.
this? Like, that was so great.
Like maybe
That's
is,
why we
it's
don't
fun
do
in the
it.
moment,
Right,
like
exactly.
doing the pranks, but that's a different kind of adrenaline. Like because I think I told the story of the
What's he chewing on?
It's his bowl.
he's sliding it around on the
Wow.
floor in there.
Yeah,
Sounds
I guess you need to stand.
Like I feel like the thrill is in the moment for the pranks, not necessarily the after effects.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know.
It doesn't sound like he's eating out of the bowl. It
Sounds
sounds
like trash.
like he's ripping
It does.
something
It
apart.
does. That's why I was nervous.
But it's safe.
Are you guys what kind of studiers are you guys? Because these chapters, like the first 10 pages of these chapters is just them studying and having
Yeah.
pretty much OWLs.
Gave
and it's
me
like,
anxiety.
oh,
Brought me
yeah.
right back to college,
Yep.
and I was like, oh.
The writing is good because you have such anxiety when they're going through that. And I love Ernie McMillan. Are you studying more or less than 8
Yep.
hours a
Oh,
day?
gosh. I would have smacked him.
I would probably do the
Goodness.
same.
Oh,
Because I want to
that's-
know what other students are doing, and I want to know if I need to go higher or lower.
See
or
what I'm smacking you. I'm like, don't talk about it. Because I was a
There's no way
procrastinator.
you're studying that much.
8 hours. My
so
God.
Anyone else procrastinators?
Yeah.
That was I
Yeah.
was like night before.
I mean,
But
there
would
was
you get a
it
good grade on the test?
depends.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sorry.
But so it taught you in time that you could do that and it was fine.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
you're like,
I mean, it's not like I was like I could have done a lot better in school, but like I was an AB student.
that sounds
An
good to me.
AB student?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Like, oh, boo-hoo, Hermione. Okay.
I only got A's and B's.
Yeah, I'm like,
No, like,
oh, must be
never
nice.
I would like procrastinate. I wouldn't really study. I was like the laziest student in high school. I became a good student in college, but I would just wait till like study halls before and study for a little bit, or like cram 5 minutes before. And I get what I deserved. I would get like C's and D's most of the time.
I got what I deserved.
I just remember one night in college, we did an all-nighter. I think it was for finals at Starbucks, and it was just the worst night of my life. I was like, why did we do this?
Those are
my
Oh,
goodness.
I
I don't remember how I did,
Rough.
but
I did
remember the
so
night of
bad.
studying.
I did an all-nighter with my friends. I was delirious in the final. I was hearing voices.
Were you
Like, because I didn't sleep at all. And then I was like, what the heck? This is so weird. I was like so out of it. It's like you're drunk on like nothing. Like, I don't know, studying.
Yeah.
And then I did so bad on the final. I dropped a whole grade. Like my final grade dropped an entire grade because I did so. It was so hard. It was radiation physics. I mean, that was really hard, but
Not for you, Wes.
Doesn't sound fun.
That is brutal.
but yeah. So that was fun. It depended though. I think college I would study. I had note cards and everything, so I'd like go through it. But like I would cram the night before, and I was the type of person that like studied so late until like I fell asleep because I was like I have to absorb every little thing. And I was also the person that looked at my notes right before, like sitting in the classroom looking at it.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you have to put your stuff away. I'd be like the last minute, like staring at it. But I would remember the stuff.
Yeah.
So everyone that said you can't remember, you can't retain anything that you just look at, that's a lie.
yeah.
For
That's the only thing that I could retain. I would study for like an hour before, and then the only thing that I remember were like 5 minutes before what I just scanned. Everything else is out. But there was a cool little note in this chapter, and it kind of gives you. I want to know what your guys' impression is of Dumbledore still, but it goes. I dare say the Ministry of Magic will track him down soon enough. I doubt it, shouted tiny Professor Marchbanks. Not if Dumbledore doesn't want to be found. I should know. Examined him personally in Transfigurations and Charms when he did newts. Did things with a wand I'd never seen before.
I know, that was so cool.
Do you guys, are you becoming more in awe of Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like for a lot of reasons, but also I love that he's always been extraordinary. I think I started to think that he just practiced for a long time, or he's much older, and it came like from just years of working really hard. But also it feels like he was a natural. If he's the newts are 7th years, right? So he was already doing things that this person had never seen. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, seriously. That is wild. Like a senior in high school, and you're doing things that
But doing things with a wand that you've never, like, that just sounds so interesting.
Right.
Like, so is it the wand has capability, but the person holding it has to know exactly how to use it? That doesn't,
I think so. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
basic, but like,
Yeah.
I wonder if his wand is something special. Why was he able to do things? Or was it just about like,
or
did
is,
he do
is
research?
it just him though? Like, he's just naturally gifted.
Was he?
I always think of athletes when we're talking about this stuff. Like, some people literally just natural at like,
Yeah.
they pick up a basketball and you're like, what the, or a baseball.
Or a
How do you know how to
broom?
do that?
And some,
Is that you?
some are natural, and some are just 7'4" and
Yeah.
they're destined for the NBA.
True.
They don't even have to be that good.
They're just a wall.
Yeah.
Block things.
Yeah. Do you think who do you think is a better wizard, Dumbledore or Voldemort?
Dumbledore.
Yeah, Dumbledore.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell though.
Well, we haven't really seen much of Dumbledore's like skills. We've seen more of Voldemort's evil plots and skills. But I just go back to that phrasing that Voldemort said. I forgot about ancient magic, and he used that a lot. And so, like, that makes me think Dumbledore has a one-up.
Dumbledore just has stuff up his sleeve. You almost feel like, do you guys feel like you've seen everything that Voldemort has to offer? And the same thing with Dumbledore. Do you feel like
No, not
you've seen
Dumbledore.
everything that he has to offer
I don't think we've
Dumbledore?
seen it all from either of them.
from either of them?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because Voldemort, we already saw him, like, come back to life. So, like,
What else? What else?
That's pretty legit. I feel like Dumbledore has a lot of resources currently, because even we're seeing him really take advantage of his resources. When he was leaving his office, he was using the special teapot thing. Another time we saw to send. Oh wait, the teapot was when he was seeing the 2 snakes, right? And something else what he was using as a port key. So he's using these tools, and then right before he left, he's talking to all of the teachers. Wait, no, that wasn't before he left. The headmasters before he sent the kids to go see Mr. Weasley, and he is using all of those resources. I feel like Voldemort doesn't have anything, or he doesn't have much. So once he gets the weapon, I feel like he's going to be able to use more resources. He's going to have more. And then we're going to kind of see a little more of what he's capable of. Because even Dumbledore was doing things with a wand she had never seen. It feels like he needed the wand to do it. Like, he's good, but part of what makes him so good is he's using the tools around him. And I think Voldemort just doesn't have a lot of tools right now.
But when he gets them, maybe he's going to rival Dumbledore. We'll see.
Well, that's why he probably wants to go to the Department of Mysteries.
What is the weapon, guys?
Oh my gosh, every time.
That's the big question in this book. What's the weapon?
I don't think my answers changed.
Yeah.
I wish we got a little more insight on what these orb things are in the Department of Mysteries. But I feel like we didn't. We didn't get a lot of insight. But I'm just curious what Sirius could have to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, because
Sirius
he's
is
the only one
has
that
to
can
retrieve
touch it.
But why?
Because it's evil. Or maybe it's a black... because other people were supposed to touch it that couldn't.
I was like, maybe it's because he could be an animagus and do whatever. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Because,
He could have picked it up
yeah.
with his mouth.
What?
He picked it up with his mouth as an animal.
No, but I'm just saying they already have Wormtail. So, like, he could do anything.
Oh, but
as
he's
an
a
animagus.
rat. What can you do as a rat?
But also, could Sirius be a secret keeper
Bigger mouth.
Ooh, a secret keeper for whatever this
for
object
the
is?
weapon? Yeah, but I don't know if you can be a secret keeper for an object. It has to be a person.
But maybe that comes with something. Like maybe once you're a secret keeper, you have some kind of... But we don't know anything about the other 2 people that were supposed to try this. So how are we supposed to know
Yeah, true.
what...
And we also don't really know what it is. It could be kind of like a person. Because we talked about what if it was people's memories. So if that was the weapon, it was like more about knowledge than anything else. Like a ancient spell or something.
I just think Voldemort can't touch it. I don't know if it's necessarily
Just Voldemort.
certain people can touch it. I just think he can't.
It would have to almost be like all evil people couldn't touch it though, right?
Like Death Eaters and
Because then he
him.
would have brought one of his boys.
Maybe
like,
it's
"Yo, pick
more
this up
of
for
like
me."
a pure, I don't know, like innocent thing that like evil can't touch.
So this whole room full of orbs. Maybe Voldemort doesn't know which one is the right orb that he's looking for.
Maybe you get burned while you touch them, so he'd rather someone else he doesn't like do it.
Yeah, but I feel like he'd let his people burn for him.
True.
What can Sirius offer?
That's the question. And there's a few other
If
questions.
it's even real.
Yeah. Okay. That's another big
I
question
think
we'll
it's
ask.
real. It's tracks.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, whose side are you on? Hermione's or Harry's? We're not going to get there yet. That's the next chapter. So hold on to that. I can't wait to ask those questions. But
Well, how you always say it. Wait, we can't talk about that, but you brought it up.
I know. I'm the one that brings. I screw myself over with these. One of the quotes is the first question that Harry has on his exam. Give the incantation and describe the wand movement required to make objects fly. Harry had a fleeting memory of a club soaring high into the air and landing loudly on the thick skull of a troll. Smiling slightly, he bent over his paper and began to write. This is like a Slumdog Millionaire right here. He's like,
Yeah.
he has like memories associated with every one of these charms, but he doesn't. Do you think Harry's gonna get high OWLs? He's gonna get a lot. He's gonna get high marks or low marks. Is he gonna be an
Average?
Auror?
I feel like he's gonna be average, except like in the defense against the Dark
Average.
He so defensive against the dark arts.
He wouldn't.
That was the only one he knew he got an outstanding on. Right, he walked away from
That's-
that
yeah.
saying, "Oh, this is what it feels like to
I
get an
mean, the
outstanding."
guy is like, "Can you do a Patronus for
yeah,
us?"
for an extra point.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was
Yep.
epic.
And I love the note too that he walked by Draco, who was in his charms, and he was like,
Oh, yeah.
I think she goes, "Oh, you're famous Harry Potter," and his like glass thing dropped and broke, and he gets lower marks because he's mad about that. That was great.
I guess I don't remember that.
Do you think that Harry's going to actually be able to become an Auror? So he does need a outstanding in his potions.
over here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm listening. It's just literally he's got underlined arrows all over the pages.
It's the best. He's trying to make
I can't help
connections
it.
here. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to also see what Harry would have gotten on his OWL, so I can see if there's anything suspicious.
You have a rating.
Danny, do you think he's going to get an outstanding on it?
that he
B
would
or
get an
B
excellent
plus.
on charm.
Literally.
No, but then I said
even think of these things.
exceeds expectations. You know.
He literally has gradings written in the margin.
All right, but here's the question,
Sorry,
though. In order
yeah.
I
to
feel like I
become
could
an
show
Auror,
this.
Yeah.
in order to become an Auror,
He needs really good grades.
Okay.
he needs to. Snape does not accept students who get below an outstanding for his new
Oh,
classes.
potions. Yeah.
Do you think that Harry is going to score an outstanding in his potion?
Well, he said he felt less pressure without Snape there.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll surprise himself.
Yeah, even Neville was
'Cause-
doing better.
Pressure of the. That's true, though. When you have pressure of someone on you, you like can't think straight.
Well, what I keep wondering is it going to be a true, honest reflection of his score, his abilities, or is there interference from Snape or Umbridge? If Snape doesn't want him in those classes, he's not going to get the grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not up to the professors.
But
though.
also,
yeah, true.
okay, if we're really going off this, why wouldn't anyone want Harry Potter to be an Auror? Who cares what you got on your grades? Like,
Yeah,
are
I
you
know.
kidding me?
That is a bit arbitrary and ridiculous.
I was
That's
like, he went against Voldemort how many times and has beat him.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I was thinking.
why
'Cause it's
wouldn't
like,
you want
I was
him,
thinking to
though?
myself, like written tests and written whatever, I would freak.
Right.
And like, it's not like I would do the greatest. I'd be okay. But like him doing it, like doing all this stuff.
He's like a natural at it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
this
like,
is a
why
massive
wouldn't
flaw.
you want?
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, okay, whatever you get on the grades, who cares? You're
Yeah,
going.
Right.
You're like 4-0 against Voldemort right now.
Like he could just be like
Those were your
on
tests.
site training. He doesn't even need school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one, I forgot where this was mentioned. I think maybe McGonagall said that no one's become an Auror in the past 3 years.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like a hard thing to get and achieve. I feel like if it's that hard to get and achieve, anybody should be able to like try it. If you're going to fail, you're going to fail first round, you know, like who cares?
Right,
But
right.
if you can get far along in it, then it doesn't matter if you scored a low test score or
I
not.
just don't understand. Yeah,
That's, like,
don't
stupid.
think
Yeah.
that's wise because then you're not going to have any.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they're just gonna age out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another annoying thing is it's contingent on what the professors want or not. Like Harry could get, say there was like a different potions teacher that accepted, you know, anybody can come to my
Yeah,
class if they
yeah,
got a,
right.
you know, exceeds expectations score grade. That would be ridiculous that Snape's level is higher, and just because one professor's level was higher than another, he wasn't able to become an Auror because of it. It changes the whole trajectory of your career. It should be like set in stone. It shouldn't be up to the professors, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Too much weird tampering going on.
And maybe I just the way I read one line on 715 as Harry passed Umbridge after Defense Against the Dark Arts, there was a nasty smile playing around her wide, slack mouth. I took that nasty smile to mean she knows something he doesn't.
Yeah.
It could have been a smile of anger, and that's why it was nasty, but I took it to mean more like devious than that. And I was like, oh man. Even if Harry scores well, she might have like a backup plan. And obviously she catches him in the next chapter thinking that he was doing even more things with the Nifflers, with whatever. So whatever it is, I feel like she has a plan. So maybe it doesn't even matter what Harry gets. But I think he's going to score pretty well. I feel like he's going to do well on all of these.
Do you guys think Umbridge is going to be around for the next book? Is she still going to be a teacher at Hogwarts? Is she still going to be the headmaster? Or if Dumbledore comes back, do you think that she would still teach Defense Against the Dark Arts?
No. I'm gonna say she's not gonna be in the next book because something bad's gonna happen to her.
Wishful thinking.
Are you saying, is that wishful? Is that hoping? Or
Yeah, probably because I don't like her.
Would she be evil? Because that's what I don't know
What do
yet.
you mean? Oh my god.
No, I'm not saying evil like, I'm saying a Death Eater, like loyal to Voldemort, Like right
She
now,
has lots of arrows pointing in that direction.
it seems like it, right? But she's, in my mind, a somewhat evil person, but not a Death Eater. It feels like I still feel like some of her motivation comes from a warped but good place of wanting success for the ministry.
In her own mind.
In her
what
own
she
mind,
views as
yeah.
good, which is not good.
And to me, that's not as bad as someone who...
It's really bad. She's got the power and the pride to be this evil person.
Yeah. Especially if misdirected or misguided or...
I mean, she wanted to do the Cruciatus curse on Harry.
Oh my goodness, I know.
And Fudge would just let it go.
Yeah.
Like, what? No.
Yeah,
That
you're
is
right.
wild.
You're right. That is a
So-
good sign of like an inner evil. Like she might actually be evil. But if she's so evil, what's her... Like, let's say, is she loyal to Voldemort? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Because if she was, I can't think of what her goal in all of this would be.
Because Harry is accessible. And she
Okay. So you would say, do you think she actually is already loyal to Voldemort? Have they had discussions?
Well, while you're saying that, I'm changing my mind because she would have had so many opportunities to give Harry up to Voldemort again.
Yeah, if that was their goal. But I still don't know really what Voldemort's goal is or her goal, or Fudge for that matter. But Fudge, I still am like, well, I don't know. I feel like he's
guess.
okay. He's just scared and a coward.
Yeah. There's something the difference about Voldemort and Dumbridge is that I feel like Voldemort is blatantly wanting to commit a genocide.
Yeah, you're right.
Like blatantly wanting to destroy anybody who's not pure blood, even though he himself is not pure blood, which is really ironic. I think Umbridge is doing it with half-breeds subliminally, which is almost worse. She's
right.
trying to go under the radar a bit and like trying to eliminate anybody who disagrees with her, which isn't becoming so under the radar anymore because she's literally performing the Cruciatus curse on people. She's like trying to be subtle about it though, like change things through legislation and law, which is a slower process, I'm sure, but it could have more lasting effects. Like changing legislation. Right now, if they defeat Voldemort and he's dead, that's like it. You know, you're done. But if she changes legislation, it's going to probably take years to change that back. So it could be a little rougher. But yeah, there's another because she really gets evil in these chapters, and this is what we get. This is the line. Oh, this is a really funny line. Sorry. This is one of my favorite lines of the chapter. Ron goes, "Well, we were always going to fail that one," said Ron gloomily as they ascended the marble staircase. He had just made Harry feel rather better by telling him how he had told the examiner in detail about an ugly man with a wart on his nose and his crystal ball, only to look up and realize he had been describing his examiner's reflection.
I laughed out loud during that. It was
Yeah.
so
That was
funny.
great.
Oh, it is such a good part. Ron is like such a good comedic relief here. But after this happens, they're up on their astronomy tower and they're looking down and they're seeing Hagrid getting sacked. Why is Hagrid getting sacked so late? And what do you think of the whole sacking of Hagrid?
Well, they did it late as a cover up, I'm sure, because they were saying Trelawney's was too public and it caused an uproar kind of. So they wanted to do it secretly, I'm thinking. And they're doing things illegally too, I feel like. So it had to be at night. And during an exam, although is it just fifth years that would be taking the OWLs?
Yeah.
So I guess it wouldn't be the whole school.
Yeah. The whole school did hear the racket happening because when he went back to the common room, they were all curious. People were awake and they were wondering what happened.
I'm surprised McGonagall went to approach. I mean, I love that she did that because it's like, I could see, like, that's her personality.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she got hit.
Well, I think I was surprised. Right, because wouldn't she be on guard? I thought she's like a really smart and good witch also. So.
Unless it was part of her plan.
I love the Madame Pomfrey
know.
line too. Yeah, it could be part of her plan.
Like to end up in St. Mungo's. There are a lot of reasons to be in St.
Yeah.
Mungo's right now. She might have to communicate with someone she couldn't otherwise. It's all a cover, whatever. She's boys with Pomfrey, so she might be like,
She
all right,
also.
cool. Don't fix me here. Send me over to St. Mungo's. You know, because it
And
just
make it sound like she's in really bad shape.
Yeah,
when she's not as a
it
cover.
feels not like her to go out there and be totally surprised that they're stunning her. Like there are like 5 of these guys there trying to take down Hagrid, and she just walks out like, whoops.
But I think there's a point to it as well. Like I think that's actually an interesting theory that she's doing this on purpose. But at the same point, when she's going out there, she's not. She doesn't really believe in the system anymore. But there's Aurors that are with her. Like she probably has taught Dawlish, so she's going out there expecting. Like maybe she still has a little bit of faith in the system that these people aren't going to turn around and I mean it's always obviously crushed in that moment. But it could just be something as simple as like she's going to defend him, and then all of a sudden these guys turn around and don't even give her a second. It's not like a duel; they just turn around and because I love Pomfrey's line later that she's like any of them could even like dare challenging her one on one. Like McGonagall would destroy all of them one on one.
Yep.
So the only chance that they had because there were how many people were there? 5.
4 she got hit 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, one of my interpretations is she blocked one of the first ones that came, and then she blocked it, and the 4 others hit her square in the chest. Like, you can't block 5 all at the same time, I guess. So, I don't know. Yeah. That could be interesting that she's at St. Mungo's for a specific reason, though. What would that reason be?
I was just thinking of like the Longbottoms, or if there was another person at St. Mungo's like Bodhi was, that she would need to protect or discuss something with. Or it could be something with Sirius, or Dumbledore could have told her, hey, Sirius is going to go through some stuff and he's going to need some healing. He's going to be at St. Mungo's after we work some things out. I don't know how much she knows. I couldn't land on anything solid, but it just made me feel better than thinking she got stunned by these dudes that I'm just like, they're not as good as her. But you're right. If she was able to block one and then got hit, that would make sense. But Dumbledore was able to so quickly subdue all of the people in that room that I'm like, I feel like McGonagall in my head is almost close to Dumbledore in some way. Where I'm like, oh, she should be able to take them on. Yeah. But it's the element of surprise. Yeah. And she really trusted the system. She didn't think it was anarchy yet.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, they were just playing a different playing field. It's not fair, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And during the whole examination, it's mentioned later that Peeves was putting ink on the astronomy tower telescopes, which I thought was a great prank.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned something which is like a funny little note that I was thinking of ways that they can cheat on an exam. And there were 2 that I thought of for how would a remember all help you at all?
I was wondering that
exam?
too.
Oh.
Because it just tells you what you forgot.
And it would only just like spin or turn red, right, when you forget something. So I'm like, how just preventing you from missing a question?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you forgot to answer one. Oops. Yeah, I could not think of a way that would do it. Did you think of anything?
No, I was trying. I was like, if you just have it right next to you, maybe, the only thing if you're writing like an essay on something, oh, you forgot this point, but you don't know what you forgot. It's the same thing with Neville. Like, oh, I forgot this. So
Right.
Then it's going to stress you out even more.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's like,
I
was oblivious to it before.
Yeah.
Now I know that I forgot something. So thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it would be mildly helpful to then go back and like read something again if it works like that.
Yeah.
But I also wondered then if there was something to a remember all that would help you remember. That would be nice to have that built in.
Like a magic 8-ball built in.
Yeah, like you just like
is
hold
it
it
A
close.
or B? Yeah.
That would be nice.
I know.
So that was a little odd. But there must be a way.
Do you think that legilimency would work? Because Harry was like, why can't I see in a window in the back of Pavarti's mind?
Yeah.
Which would be really interesting. Do you think that would actually work?
I got the impression it was kind of working for Harry because he was like coming up with answers, but it felt so accidental.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like going into someone's mind and like pulling answers out. It more felt like he was trying to look in people's minds and then the answer was just coming to him. Like, was it working?
Yeah.
Or could someone else be planting the answers in his mind?
Because if you're behind Hermione, oh my
You're
gosh.
set.
Yeah. They need to have they should just put like a bubble around the smartest students so no one can cheat on those students.
Didn't they say they had like charms or something over the whole room,
Yeah.
so they couldn't cheat.
Yep.
Like, I'm wondering what the extent of that is.
They've been doing that for years and years, so I'm sure they probably have pretty great anti-cheating
Right?
things.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Fred and George tried a way, and maybe they succeeded through things. I feel like they're so creative that they'd be able to like get around that somehow.
But is this thing that Harry is learning so advanced that it wasn't even accounted for?
Yeah,
It kind of feels like maybe.
yeah,
I don't think other students are doing it. I don't think other students are reading minds.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
All right, in your opinion, did wand legislation contribute to or lead to better control of goblin riots of the 18th century?
That's on you, Danny.
Well, there are basically two schools of thought.
Oh my God.
And
No schools of thought in here.
same.
Oh, man. I feel like it must have, because that's why they would do it. So, am I correct in my understanding that goblins...
All right, Jen. Get the blanket.
She's going to end up on the floor. She's kept going further and
Blanket.
further.
I thought it would be a quick little tug, and it was not.
Goblins cannot use wands.
Yeah.
So,
That's the main debate between goblins and wizards, is that wizards have the magic of a wand, and they have not disclosed that secret to goblins or any other person besides a wizard.
So it feels like this wand legislation is where that began, or
yeah.
at least like changed in some way.
Yeah.
But it's also possible they were lifting or changing legislation to allow greater pushback on the riots from wizards. So it could have been bad in either way, but I'm assuming it helped one way or another. It's interesting.
Yeah, because there's like, it goes on both sides. Goblins don't share the secrets of how they craft armor and weaponry for wizards, because there's something better and there's something deeper about that. And wizards don't know it, so there's like this bias going on between the two.
That reminds me of the Lord of the Rings series, the Ring of Power, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
With the
elves are better at crafting things.
the elves and the dwarves that
yeah.
were with the
Yep.
mines.
That was a good
Anyways.
part of the series where they're like able to craft things that are
Together.
Yeah, the dwarves are able to craft things that
Yeah,
are better.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry,
The mithril.
Oh yeah,
It's
you've
just
never
hitting the wall
you haven't even
behind my
seen
head.
them.
That's the next one. We'll do the Rings of Power.
I'm not
the first
reading
time
it.
watcher.
I'll watch it.
Okay, I was like, are we going to read those? We tried. Not successful.
All right, here is the bulk of what happens. It's not in this chapter, but this is like the real interesting note. It goes, I'm going to read this long section for you guys.
Nice.
But there was a shape on the floor at the very end, a black shape moving on the floor like a wounded animal. Harry's stomach contracted with fear, with excitement. A voice issued from his own mouth, a high, cold, empty voice, a voice empty of any human kindness. Take it from me. Lift it down, now. I cannot touch it. But you can. The black shape on the floor shifted a little. Harry saw a long-fingered white hand clutching a wand rise at the end of his own arm. He heard a high, cold voice say, Crucio. The man on the floor let out a scream of pain, attempted to stand but fell back, writhing. Harry was laughing. He raised his wand, the curse lifted, and the figure groaned and became motionless. Lord Voldemort is waiting, very slowly, his arms trembling. The man on the ground raised his shoulders a few inches and lifted his head. His face was bloodstained and gaunt, twisted in pain yet rigid with defiance. You'll have to kill me, whispered Sirius. Undoubtedly I shall in the end, said the cold voice, but you will fetch it for me first, Black. You think you have felt pain thus far? Think again. We have hours ahead of us and nobody to hear you scream. But somebody screamed as Voldemort lowered his wand again. Somebody yelled and fell sideways off a hot desk onto the cold stone floor. Harry awoke as he hit the ground, still yelling, his scar on fire as the great hall erupted around him. All right, what is happening here?
Is it real or is it fake?
Yeah. So there's one of the questions. Is it real or is this fake?
Probably real. And then we get some evidence to that later on. I just was trying to figure out how he got there.
Yeah,
Also.
midday Voldemort end series.
Well, yeah,
that was
because Hermione was
Yeah,
saying that.
yep.
Like, how did he get? But he could do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
he got
Voldemort.
people out of Azkaban. So how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's fair.
So I don't know. And
And the Ministry doesn't think he's real or like that he's around, so
that's
easier to sneak
Lord,
around.
Yeah.
Yep.
He probably doesn't look like himself now either, does he? If you were just to see him, would you know it was him? Does he look like what he looked like before?
I think he looks like what he looked like before.
A snake?
Yeah. Like he's got slits for nostrils, red eyes. I think if you was walking down the street, you're going, oh, there's Lord Voldemort.
No way. I don't think so.
And Jenn would be like, ooh. There he is.
It's not like he's growing his nose back.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a point
Well,
to
I'm
it.
saying before he
No, not like the demon baby thing.
no, before that, like when he was risen
Like normal?
before, when he was normal and he was Lord Voldemort, what did he look like then versus his risen self? Like, would people
Interesting
recognize
question.
him if he was just walking down the street? That's what I'm wondering. Could he just walked into the Ministry of Magic?
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like himself, so he just walks right in.
Because
I sure hope
did
not.
people not recognize him before? And how? What was it like? When did he change his appearance? Was it voluntary or involuntary?
I think it was well, to me it seems involuntary. Obviously we'll get more feedback later on, but I feel like he looked like more of a man before and now he looks more like a snake because he got destroyed into a million pieces, came back together, reborn.
They forgot his nose.
And he looks like a snake.
They lost it.
Wormtail's like, hey, real quick, about your nose. I got all the pieces together, but I could not find that one.
That one.
Anyway. Yeah.
He
Do
still
you-
couldn't get into the Ministry though, even if nobody recognized him. He couldn't get past security, right?
But
Because
he could do all these curses as he's walking up to them.
There could be like 1,000 people dead on the Ministry right now.
right, like he could have gone in guns blazing.
Yeah.
That's fair. But he said we've got hours. It just
Which
seems weird.
then
hours
would be-
midday. Don't other people work in this place?
Can't he just like freeze everyone though? Like, can the whole ministry just be frozen by him and he could do whatever he wants?
He's got a time turner, and they're just sitting there in a loop.
A time turn.
There is
I'm sure
another
these things are
there is
gonna come
another
back
thing
up.
that Harry mentions in this where all the visions that he has, that the chamber is empty, which are just visions, but they're kind of confirmed later that no one really is ever in this chamber. And even the guards, when they're doing guard duty in this section, like
Yeah.
they're almost always alone. Only one person gets caught.
Well, probably because it makes it seem like really no one can touch these things. So they're like, why do we
Yeah.
have to guard it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him changing his appearance is an interesting question. When that happened, if it was voluntary or involuntary. I think I forgot his nose somewhere.
I mean, if you're coming back as a person, I guess you can't. Beggars can't be
Yeah.
choosers.
Yeah, it's true. I'll take anybody I can. Do you think that, again, this connection between Harry and Voldemort, I mean, this is, again, the question of, is this real or not? But even beyond that, do you think that Harry is the one that's, do you think there's going to be any like union between the two? I don't know how to ask that really.
Kind of. Yeah.
I am afraid of a union. Yeah. I don't think it'd be willing. Not from Harry's side.
And like, what do you? I'm like asking you to define terms that I'm just trying to come up with. What do you mean by union? Like, what is going to happen between the two?
Well, I'm thinking based on the idea that Voldemort can't reach his full power because of a piece of him that is now in Harry accidentally from because he didn't know. Like, I'm trying to now put into words like the vague ideas in my head. So like, I'm thinking when he's trying to absorb power from wizards. So he's going around killing people, absorbing their power, whatever that even means. And something about that, rather than absorb power from Harry as a child, he accidentally put some of his power in Harry.
Unknowingly, he did
unknowingly, yeah, or knowingly as part of the process of absorbing power. But then it like backfired a little bit, obviously, because it like nearly killed him. And so I'm thinking that in order for him to reach his full power again, he would have to. He can go around killing other wizards, but he would need to kill Harry to get this big chunk of his original power back. If that's like it's such a. They're such crude terms because I don't know what that even really means. But I feel like he would need to maybe not kill Harry, but at least have him on his side. Or if they could fight together, it would be like unstoppable. So I'm thinking Imperious Curse on Harry or try to win Harry over slowly. But I guess I get the general idea of he could also just kill him because that's what he was planning on doing in the graveyard and get his power back. So if maybe he won't be able to kill Harry. He'll have to have some kind of union.
Yeah, because that was a question that we've even come up with before. Like, what happens if one of them kills the other? Will the other cease to be alive?
Right. Would they both just die if that happens? And that's where my idea of Harry having to sacrifice himself at some point in order to kill Voldemort could be true. Because if a piece of Voldemort is in Harry, then even if they could kill Voldemort, he could always come back through Harry. Maybe that's the reason he didn't die in the first place. So, yeah, it's just a weird thing. So maybe a union, an unwilling union.
We'll see.
Jen?
What? I don't know. You went off on a whole tangent. I forgot what the original question was. It was great. I was following it. And I believe it to an extent, too. But I don't know what the original question was.
Isn't that like what movie is that in? Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's like, all right, I like your plan, but I wasn't listening. Repeat the whole thing. What was that in?
I feel like that would be me.
Funny, yeah.
I think he goes,
Like, I have no idea what you said.
yeah. All right, I like that plan, but I don't remember any of it. Repeat it back from the start. Okay. I gotta like Google that. Anybody know from chat what that's in? I don't remember. Anyway.
It's pretty funny.
Any theories, Jen?
Well, I was just, while you were sharing,
While I was rambling. Yeah.
No, I was listening. But then I started going on my own little hunt in my mind of like how Voldemort must feel, where he kind of got defeated by a mudblood, which was Lily. Like, Lily's the one that
Because it was her love that kind of,
for it, and it made Harry be more powerful. So then I was thinking like, oh, I wonder how he felt about that. Like, he just lost to mudblood family in a way, like Harry and
Yep.
I know you're not supposed to say that, but
Muggle born.
well, you're too busy
Muggle-born.
chatting, so you didn't even catch me like cursing over here or whatever.
I think that I actually do think there's an interesting note in that if because he's after this pure blood mania, if he was because he was defeated by someone who's Muggle born, if there's something again in like the ancient magic and the deeper magic that is like written where he can't touch anybody, like he wasn't able to touch Harry. Maybe that's the reason they say it's because of love, but maybe it's love combined with this idea that Voldemort was barely able to defeat, someone who is Muggle born, even though he did kill them. Maybe there was something deeper there that we don't know of,
Right.
where because that happened, he screwed himself.
And
over.
then there has to be something with the Potters, though. Like, why was Voldemort after them anyway?
Yeah, it does bring up that
So,
original. Yeah.
So then I guess being defeated by that, I just wonder, like, the revenge or something that Voldemort has, even if he doesn't need Harry. Could it just be revenge for losing or of disrupting his original plan?
His plan is just so hazy. We just don't really know his plan. And more is uncovered in the next few chapters, and like the ones that we're going over. So we'll talk about this even in the next chapter. But let's go to the next chapter. Out of the Fire. What is happening in this chapter?
You want to go for
I'm
it?
going to do it. I don't remember myself, but hopefully this makes sense. The kids make an attempt to contact Sirius and fail. Umbridge tries to get Veritas serum from Snape, but his next batch won't be ready for another month. Hermione convinces Umbridge they were trying to contact Dumbledore and is about to show her the weapon they were making for him.
Okay, this is a line that we've talked about this before, and like, what would you do if you're in this situation in the Ministry? But Madame Pomfrey and Harry Potter are in a conversation, and she goes, "I don't wonder you're shocked, Potter," said Madame Pomfrey with a kind of fierce approval in her face, as if one of them could have stunned Minerva McGonagall face on by daylight. Cowardice, that's what it was. Despicable cowardice. If I wasn't worried what would happen to you students without me, I'd resign in protest. What should the teachers do here? Should they all resign in protest? Or should they protect the students somehow?
I feel like they can't resign anymore because it feels like what this was with Umbridge is, it almost feels like a declaration of war. She's not playing by the rules anymore. You know, like McGonagall did nothing worthy of being stunned like this. So if they were still playing by the rules, you can go on strike. You know what I mean? You can leave. You can do, but that a strike only works if the people aren't willing to like cross the line. And so, yeah, I think it's past that. The time for quitting in solidarity or going on strike.
Then what
is
would
over.
happen with the students, though?
Yeah.
That would
That's a
scare me
great
because
question,
she was
yeah.
already willing to torture them at the beginning.
Yep.
You know, so like now all bets are off. She's like losing her mind.
This is the rise of the public school system for witches and wizards, or like homeschooling for wizards. Or again, I mean, this is the weird balance between like what government and what authorities have versus what the people have. If all the students, I'm sure 90% of the students at Hogwarts, maybe 3 houses out of 4, if they just got up and left, I mean, then you're like doing exactly what Voldemort wants. It's a bunch of Slytherin purebloods would stay, and that's exactly what he wants. So that's not exactly, I guess, the way to do it. But start your own rival school.
No, but they could just not show up to Umbridge's class. No one takes her class.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's not a
like-
bad protest. What would you? Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. What would you guys do to protest this woman?
I'd be like, we don't need you because all we're doing is reading a book, so I don't need you to teach me anything.
Yeah,
And I'll take my OWLs and do fine.
that's a great, great little mode of protest right there.
Because then we don't need you as a teacher. Bye. But now she's the head mistress,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I like the Fred and George protests because it can never be pinned on them. At least not like too directly. So if more students would do that, maybe it'd be good.
That also motivated everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the teachers too.
it
Like
set
a few more
yeah,
things like that. Could be good.
Set up a little fire under them. When Harry has this vision and he communicates it to Ron and Hermione, are Ron and Hermione right to question Harry? And I think maybe the larger question, has Harry proved himself trustworthy up until this point?
He is.
I think so.
Very much so, yeah.
So are Ron and Harry or Ron and Hermione not right to question him?
They could still question him. But they have to also, like, I think it's just like reaffirming, like, this is what you saw, not like are you sure? I don't know. Like, it was a different type of questioning I felt like they should have done. Like, I know you are always seeing these things and it's probably true, but is there a chance that like this is felt different or weird where we
Yeah.
can maybe think how to go about this differently? I don't know.
I mean, I think they got there because then Hermione was like, okay, let's just double check if Sirius is at the house. If not, then let's move forward.
Yeah.
I thought that was reasonable.
Yeah.
It did seem
But it was
fairly
like
reasonable.
delayed.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
if they don't save his life and he dies and a few minutes would have made the difference, like that'd be a little
Right,
bit on
right.
Hermione, you know? Like
Well,
she's,
yeah.
she's slowing the pace of their reaction time here. And I like it, but it in some ways, because I think that way too, but it didn't feel fully justified. I'm like, the reason Mr. Weasley is alive today is because Harry acted quickly and McGonagall believed him.
Yeah.
We're in a similar situation
Yeah,
and they're
it's true.
not believing him. And I'm like,
I know, that's what I
lives
didn't
are at
like.
stake. If you're
Yeah.
wrong, so be it. You know, that's cool. But like,
But what were
do
they
whatever
gonna-
you can. But the thing is, what can they do?
Right.
I thought of Snape right away, though. That's why I was surprised.
Great point.
Because I was like, the only other person that we think is safe, who doesn't like you, but is in the order and wants the best for the order, I think, is Snape.
Right. And I still keep thinking this gift from Sirius, isn't that still somewhere?
If you ever need him, which he should use it now because maybe he would
hasn't even
disappear
opened this
from
thing. We don't even know
Voldemort.
what it is yet. I'm
Yeah.
like, so
That
in my
would be
mind,
cool.
we're supposed to almost forget about that at this point, and it'll be a light bulb at some point. They'll be like, oh, why didn't we do that?
What if
But-
he just needed to get that and it pulls him away from Voldemort's power?
Yeah, I don't know. But it feels like they're not. Hermione is so smart. They should be using their brain power together to come up with like solutions, which they kind of do. You know, let's use the fire. Okay,
But
cool.
honestly, I thought that was stupid.
I thought they were going to
'Cause-
say break into the headmaster's quarters and talk to the portraits. And then through the portraits, you can try and
do
talk
what
to.
Dumbledore did?
We already know one of the portraits is at the
Black's
Order of the
house.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
So then he can go around those portraits, I guess, maybe within the house, and then try and find him. And if he's not there, you know, maybe there's one in the ministry. We don't know, but it's like something.
It does show, I think, two things: how short-sighted they are. I mean, maybe the first thing, their brains are fried from exams. They're
right.
like not thinking
Yeah,
straight. I'd be like in an absolute stupor. Harry only slept 3 hours. He's probably exhausted, and Hermione and Ron probably the same thing. But they're not thinking through things as logically as they need to, because, and I think that's a good thing, because Harry is a person of action. He's like, if he sees something,
Yep.
Hermione says this later, which I think is like almost a series defining thing. Because she says, okay, she said, looking frightened yet determined, I've just got to say this. What? This isn't a criticism, Harry, but you do sort of, I mean, don't you think you've got a bit of a saving people thing, she said?
So true.
Is she right?
I love that he's being
Yeah.
called out for it because it does kind of seem that way. But he also does actually save people.
I was gonna say it's valid though. Like
Yeah.
he does, but he's actually saving
Yep.
people.
Yep.
And he even mentioned that. He's like, in the third book, I saved your butt, Hermione.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You're right.
You weren't
And
complaining then.
Ginny.
Yeah.
And
He has a saving people thing, and that's one reason we love him, but it could be something that is exploited from him. Like, do you think that Voldemort knows this? Do you think that Voldemort is exploiting him because of this?
I didn't until Hermione said it. And then I was like,
oh yeah,
fair
that's
point.
true. Yeah.
And her best point to me was that Dumbledore wants him to learn occlumency. We don't know, but it seems like the reason, like, unless he mentioned it, is so that Harry won't have these dreams and he won't be in touch with what's going on. So I'm like, I mean, if Hermione's right there, that Dumbledore doesn't want him to have these dreams
Yeah.
or have the knowledge that comes from these visions, then he shouldn't be acting on anything he sees in the visions. I don't know. So when she said that, I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
If he was better in his lessons with Snape than he was practicing, and he then didn't have these visions, if that was the goal, I think it was, he wouldn't know. Could this be
but
part of
then
Dumbledore's
Sirius
plan?
is dead.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I know, that's what it's hard because it's like,
Yeah.
is he just? Yeah, I didn't think of it too until Hermione said that.
But
Like,
then-
is it a trick to get him there?
I'm also thinking of,
To get Harry there?
like, wasn't it Mr. Weasley or it was somebody else who said to Harry in Prisoner of Azkaban, said, hey, you're going to hear things about Sirius,
Don't
and if
go
you do,
looking.
don't go looking for him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, in the end, I think Harry pretty much, like, ignored that advice. And was it for the better or worse? I don't know. Did it ultimately lead to Voldemort coming back? But we still liked that he did it. It was, like, good. He's pursuing this kind
Yeah.
of justice. He's trying to save people. And then even if Dumbledore is saying, you shouldn't have this vision, don't act on it, we know that Harry would anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but is that why he's supposed to be doing occlumency? Is this the moment? Did
Yeah.
he miss it?
Is
You
it all
know?
leading up to this moment? So again, the through line of this whole chapter is this real or is this not? Are you siding with Hermione? Because even when all this stuff happens, like Hermione, you still don't know if she believes this is true or not. So are you siding with Hermione or are you siding with Harry here? That's the big question. Who's more trustworthy? Both of them are unbelievably trustworthy. But for looking down the path of this book, do you think that if Harry is right, will Sirius have died because Hermione failed to act? And how would that impact their relationship?
That would be bad.
Do you think that they would be friends anymore?
Well, first of all, it's not Hermione's fault, regardless.
Agreed.
So
Was Harry mature enough to get by that?
Would he think of it that way?
I'm like, but it might be.
I mean, they all have a risk being in this order to begin with, which they say plenty of times. And then, I mean, yeah, he probably would be upset and not talk to her or be friends with her.
So let's run through a scenario. Harry's right. Sirius is being tortured. Does Sirius die at the end of this book because of that?
I don't think he does because it feels like Voldemort needs him.
Okay.
Voldemort is torturing him, not killing him. Even though Voldemort says eventually he will kill him, I think, and maybe Sirius knows this too, he would only die if he gives Voldemort what he wants.
Okay.
So for the moment, as long as Sirius stays strong, and his years in Azkaban, I'm sure, have taught him many mental tricks to stay strong, I think he is safe. So at the moment, I'm just hoping, if it's true what's happening, that he can get to Sirius in time to save him.
What is he going to do?
Before he gives up the information or does whatever Voldemort wants him to do, or like gets the weapon, whatever this thing is, because then I think Voldemort would just kill him right away.
So what's the deal going to happen? If are they going to be able to get to the Ministry? Do you think that's where the trajectory of the book is going?
I don't see how. Well, I was just thinking, could they fly? But how long would that take? Well, they could get Harry's firebolt, but
They don't
how
have to-
fast
if
is
they're
it
walking,
really?
too.
With 6 of them on
Yeah,
the
right.
party.
We're all just hanging on. Like, but like, if Ron
It's
was
like
also
Dumb and
on
Dumber. They get off. Harry's like, we're here. It's like freezing.
Yeah, that would be so cold. But I am wondering how fast he could actually go. Like, they could try to do a portkey thing like Dumbledore did that time. But other than that, what methods do they have to get where they need to go? So we know Hogwarts is protected by you can't apparate or do certain other magical things to get around. Maybe.
Yeah, how would
What
they
about
get
Hogsmeade though? Because if you get to Hogsmeade, you fly there quick or take a tunnel or invisibility cloak.
there? Yep, you can apparate in and out of Hogsmeade.
So then you're kind of there. Like
they don't know how
Hogsmeade
to do that
Station is
yet.
where the train goes.
None of
through.
them know how to apparate though.
Right, but there could be the flu network. So we know you can stick your dome in the flu and you can talk to people from Hogwarts. But from Hogsmeade, you might actually be able to use it to get somewhere. Yes, guys?
All right. What was that little joke right there?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna.
Classic. So yeah, I think they could do it. They'd have to get creative. Do they have any allies in Hogsmeade? I think so. One of those pub owners must be a good.
But
dude.
also, I'm just, as we're talking, like, why didn't anyone give out, like, information what to do when you're in trouble and you need to contact Dumbledore
thinking that.
or anyone else? Like, what?
they don't have any backup plans.
What happened to Lupin? Like, I just don't understand. Like, where is everyone?
They should have gone to Snape. They
Or
should have done a bunch of things.
Tonks
opened up
or Moody. Like, you can't get in touch with anyone.
and Dumbledore
It
had
just
that port key.
seems so
I feel like a
stupid.
couple of these kids should have their own secret little hidden port keys on a keychain, ready to go. If they need like something. Or I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Who was it? Who was the creepy dude in? No, that was an evil guy. When they were sharing the original Dumbledore's army stuff in the pub, there was a creepy dude covered in like bandages or
it's
something.
Mundungus.
Yeah, that's the guy with the
Wait, that was Mundungus?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. But
toilets.
Huh?
No, the guy that was doing all the toilets, blowing them up.
wasn't it? Because didn't that
Yeah.
person then tell Umbridge what
Yeah.
was going on?
You're right. I don't know his name.
Because I
The one that was supposed to be
that too, that it was Mundungus for a
captured,
second.
who like blew up toilets. It wasn't Mundungus. It was a bad guy.
Yeah. I forget
Mundungus was there.
Yeah,
when they were
but
having the meeting. There was
right.
another person there, right?
Yeah,
who was blowing up the toilets, though.
Yeah, that's what Ron Weasley, and then they're like, oh, that's what the Ministry is protecting him, I see, because he got off.
Yes, because he got off from something.
Yeah.
And he got off in exchange for
Stumped.
Information
Yeah,
to
Umbridge
Umbridge.
gave, like, he
What?
told Umbridge about Dumbledore's army, and then he got...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe we were just speculating that it was Mundungus at the beginning. Wait, but why
It
did we think
wasn't
that?
Mundungus.
Willie
There was
Willie Windikins? Someone
that his
Felicia's
name?
saying
Maybe.
on chat.
But for a second, I was wondering if that
I'm
was a
not
good
good at
guy,
names.
but
I
maybe
just
we
know
were
it's
just
not
speculating.
Mundungus.
yeah, it
But
wasn't.
either way, there should be somebody in Hogsmeade that is a friend. And it
They
just seems
literally
weird.
have no one though. Like
And what about that
Snape?
cave that Sirius was hanging out in for all that time with the hippogriff, with Buckbeak? So
But what about that cave?
they could at least make that their little secret little hidden base and put a port
Yeah.
key in there, make it like hook it up to the flu network.
Doesn't-
Maybe
a long
that's
time
where
to
he's
get there,
gonna.
though.
That's where
Oh, is it
Hermione's
far?
gonna
Yeah.
take Umbridge.
Ooh. Take her to the woodshed, the cave.
I forgot about the cave.
Hermione, they don't have wands. She's just going to take her somewhere where she can just pound her.
Beat her up.
She's like all that pent up frustration.
Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
goodness.
Going down.
I feel
Or-
like
could take
Feed her to
the-
Lupin.
Oh, I was going to say the giant.
you think she's going to take her to
my
Grop?
Take her to Grop. Yeah, what's
That's
his name?
even
Grop?
better.
You just take him over Grop. You take him
Do you
over.
think that he would kill
Oh,
Umbridge?
I hope so.
Wow.
Jen goes, I hope
getting
so. And
nervous.
Jenny goes, I hope not kill.
What is she?
I want justice.
She's never gonna get it. There's a
Azkaban.
twist. There's twisted.
Yeah, there's a twisted justice here. The Wizengamot is.
Azkaban isn't even safe anymore, though.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
right.
even
You can
real.
Escape from it.
All right.
real?
No, the Dementors are there, so it doesn't matter.
It's like a, yeah.
It's a free for all.
Say that they're not able to go to the Ministry. What happens? What do they do for the rest of this book then?
They're not able to go to the Ministry. Oh,
If they can't.
they have to though because there's pictures.
Oh my goodness.
Those pictures could be his vision.
His vision of what he's.
Not in the audiobooks cover, but whatever.
What?
I know.
Spoilers,
I'm
but-
sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so true.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
You just know a picture, but we don't know
were
if it's a vision or
convinced
not.
in the fourth book that the Mentors were a serious plot point because they put that on the cover of the audiobook. The Dementors weren't in there at all.
Wait, in what?
In the fourth book, there was one Dementor kind of mentioned that was like a brief side story. And you guys
I don't
probably don't
remember
remember
that.
where it was.
Nah, I want to look.
It's all blended together.
What would happen in the rest of this book if they're not able to get to the Ministry of Magic?
It's over. We got 4.
No, because it would have
Four
to be like,
chapters.
it would just be a shift. Like, if whatever goes on with Sirius, if it was a trap, if they
No.
realize it's not a real thing and they don't go to the Ministry, then they would have to come up with some other game plan of, let's save Hogwarts. But how do they do it? Then they're going to have to try and contact their people. Lupin,
Yeah.
Dumbledore, Sirius, because we do know Sirius is not in Order of the Phoenix. He's not there at 12 Grimmauld. So where is he? What's he doing? Maybe there are other, even if they don't fall for this, if it's a trap or something, like if that is not their goal to go save Sirius, if that's not a real thing, then there are other things for the Order they would have to do. Like Dumbledore is doing, he's taking action steps. They could go find Hagrid and work with him to convince the Giants to be good, or like set up some other, rebel base somewhere.
Very Star Wars.
Yeah, on Yavin 4 or something. I don't know. I don't know. What would they do, Jen? Or you're just so convinced because of the picture that they're going to end up at the Ministry?
Because I'm cheating.
Maybe. Or if it's a vision. We don't know.
I'm envisioning this.
Well, just
having
because you're having visions.
She's streaming in Harry Potter now. What happens though if Hermione is right? Let's say Hermione is right. They find out a way to go to the Ministry of Magic. Which one of these kids is going to die? Will one of these kids die? What happens if they get there and it's an ambush and it's 6 kids against Lord Voldemort? or 5, right? No, 6. I forgot Neville.
What?
gets thrown in
Ginny,
there.
Neville.
Ginny, Neville, Luna, Ron, Harry, Hermione.
Luna.
That is formidable, but not against Voldemort. Except Harry is, what is it, 2, 3 now?
His
Yeah, 4.
counter.
I don't know, but Voldemort, so let's say Hermione's right, and you're right, that they end up in the Ministry, and that's where there's a showdown, and it was a trap. Why would Voldemort be so confident this time that he can take Harry down? That
'Cause
he is
he has
summoning
the
him
weapon.
personally. And is Voldemort acutely aware of Harry's current standings with no Hagrid to help, no Dumbledore to help, Sirius out on the lam?
Well, can't he read his mind? He's really good at that, remember?
Yeah, if he's been doing it. So that's another thing too. If this is a trap, it means he knows about the connection with him and Harry, and he's already using it to his advantage.
But Sirius is probably there.
You think so? So that was part of it. Like
I mean,
Dumbledore needed
yeah,
to,
'cause-
Voldemort actually needed to catch Sirius
But it's still like a
to
trap.
set the trap. Oh, okay. I was thinking Sirius wasn't there, but that makes a lot more sense.
But, like,
he
where is
actually
he?
caught Sirius.
Yeah.
But why did Sirius leave
Creature
to begin
was
with?
so sketchy, so this all
Creature
adds
might have
up.
done it.
And he's obsessed with that lady that got free from Azkaban. So
She might
she
have been-
probably was just telling him what to do,
Or communicating through her photograph that was taped out.
or them.
Or she actually visited. And maybe Sirius has been leaving daily, taking little strolls, being bold. We don't know. But either way, he might actually be caught by Voldemort. And that would be a perfect thing to set the trap.
He's probably-
And then it almost validates everything Harry's saying and validates what Hermione is saying,
Yeah.
because they're both right. And then Harry wouldn't really have a right to be mad at Hermione. But then what did
But then what
Dumbledore,
happens?
Snape, how does
If
that play out?
Voldemort is there, and let's say Dumbledore is not there,
Where is Dumbledore?
At dawn, look to the east.
Doesn't Dumbledore know that?
I think Dumbledore would come save them.
On book,
but is he going to save them in time? Is someone going to is one of the students going to
maybe.
go?
Yeah, how would
kaput?
that work? So, 6 kids versus Voldemort and the Death Eaters. Would they go in with a plan? No, they'd probably just go in guns blazing, because that's what Harry loves to do.
Yeah,
Hermione
but-
would want to come up with the plan. He
Yeah.
would just.
He would ignore it for the sake of Sirius.
And time.
So let's assume they find a method to get over there. They take the train. No, I don't think they ever would, but they would find a way. They get to the Ministry. Would it be packed full of people? A work day?
Maybe they just
Invisibility
do the flu
cloak, all of them
powder.
under there?
Maybe they'll do the flu powder. And
Oh, because people were going straight to the Ministry by the Flu Network, right?
yeah.
So they
That's
pop
what
up right there.
Yeah, because maybe Umbridge is going to get attacked by the troll or a giant or whatever.
That'd be a
Then
good
they
plan,
all go
yeah.
back to her office. They go into the fire. They go to the Ministry
Oh,
because
that
they get
might work.
free out of
Yeah.
all those Slytherins.
Then,
And then they go there. They appear. Sirius is with Voldemort.
I'm just trying to think, what would I be trying to do if I'm approaching Voldemort
I don't know.
when he's got a
You're
hostage
trying
already?
to-
And who knows if he has other Death Eaters or it's just him. For one, I'd want proof. So if I die, at least there to be proof that Voldemort is back. How could you get proof?
What?
Because right now,
to let the world know.
the world
that he's
doesn't know.
right.
Yeah, Fudge does not believe he's real. So that way, at least if all 6 of these students die and Sirius, the world would know, and there's a chance that they could fight back. Because we're still assuming this is all a secret. Voldemort's in the Ministry
Luna can record it on her phone.
on her phone, on her howler,
And
or
she
whatever.
gives it to her dad, and then her
And he
dad can
publish
publish it.
And he becomes
Dun, dun, dun.
the best
Exposed.
newspaper, and the Daily Prophet can die.
Yep.
I like that he could expose it, but I still wish there was tangible proof. But they can take pictures.
How?
The Creevy brothers, they have a camera.
Yeah, they're
So
gonna
you
get
gotta
thrown
get
in there.
them.
Creevy brothers can join in. No, they just let them borrow their camera. I don't
You
want the
summon
Creamy Brothers
it. You
dying.
just bring it.
Accio camera.
How
Yep.
devastating would that be? Creamy Brothers come along just to take
Just
pictures.
to take pictures.
Oh my gosh.
And they die.
Okay, yeah, they can take pictures.
Yeah.
Totally cool. That's a weird technology that they can. Anyways, I just can't imagine there being any hope for Harry taking on Voldemort at this point. Willingly going in, just like, but that's very Harry. He
Yeah.
would run right in and be like, "Now let's come up with."
Hermione nailed that. He has a saving people complex.
Yep.
And again, she says this line too. She says, "I'm trying to say, Voldemort knows you, Harry. He took Ginny down to the Chamber of Secrets to lure you there. It's the kind of thing he does. He knows you're the sort of person who'd go to Sirius's aid. What if he's trying to get you into the Department of Mysteries?" Harry freaks out after that. Maybe rightfully so, but is she right?
Maybe.
Is Voldemort luring Harry? Why would is the only reason Harry would be being lured into the Ministry of Magic because
Maybe there's something in the orbs that
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, like,
Do
right?
something to
'cause
Harry.
He needs Harry.
maybe.
So, could these orbs be related to his parents, like the essence of his parents, or
I
their
don't know. Remember I
wands,
said
or,
that
like-
last time.
Yeah. So, would Sirius be able to actually help? Because he's resisting right now, right? If this is real, but Harry
I still
could
don't get it.
also be used for this. Why? And why only those if they're orbs?
It has to be something with power to get his power back or use him to open a portal to eternity for Voldemort.
A portal to
I have no
eternity.
idea.
It's intense.
But why are there a ton of them? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not
And
just.
some of them are powerful, maybe, and some of them are not. And you just need to find the right one.
Yep.
But maybe
Or-
only certain people can touch it. Maybe it's a bloodline thing. Maybe it's pure
bloodline
blood.
thing?
It's pure blood, which is why Sirius had to touch it. Because Harry is not, and neither is
Voldemort's
Voldemort.
not.
He has some Death Eaters that are.
they tried to get to it.
Most of his
that's
Death Eaters
true.
probably are, but maybe his death. No,
But that's the thing.
Lucius
Yeah.
could be chilling all over that spot.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
So there goes that theory.
He was in there. It's interesting. That's a good theory, though, Jen. I kind of like that.
I wish Harry was more powerful than Voldemort and could just go in and save the day.
I know, but he's not.
And he doesn't have the tools right now.
Yeah.
He just doesn't.
And I think one really interesting thing that you see in this too is Harry is a good wizard, but Dumbledore is able to do things that people haven't even seen when he was a senior in high school.
You're right.
So Voldemort is the only one that can compete and compare with a Dumbledore.
Yep.
They're the two. They're at the peak of their game. They're like the two greatest wizards of the age. Harry, I'm sorry, I love Harry, but he's nowhere
Yep.
close. None of them.
No,
are.
he's like reacting instead
Yeah.
of like being proactive and a few steps ahead.
Yep. And they have this plan right now. Do you think that their plan is good?
What's the plan?
I mean, like, go use Umbridge's fire.
Oh, you
People
mean
are
our
using-
plan?
Yeah.
Theories, got it. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
Because there's some funny lines. Like, there's good comedic moments in this too. They go, we'll draw Umbridge away, but we'll need lookouts, and that's where you can use Ginny and Luna. Though clearly struggling to understand what was going on, Ginny immediately said, yeah, we'll do it. And Luna said, when you say serious, are you talking about Stubby Boardman? Because of the article. He's so good. Love little moments like that.
Great.
But is their plan good?
Wait, to
It
talk
seemed
to
pretty good.
Sirius?
Like, yeah, just the original plan, not like the whole theory.
like
we're
before
doing.
they got caught.
Yeah.
I still thought it was stupid, but
It was a little silly. Kind of worked, though. They got the information they needed at quite a cost.
yeah.
Umbridge was a few steps ahead. And as we discussed, I think there were better methods they could have used.
I'm also surprised that Hermione wasn't able to stop anything
What do you mean stop anything?
because she was watching on watch, protecting Harry with her wand in the room. She couldn't do anything. She knows a lot of spells and they just
That's fair.
appeared. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I just thought that was weird. Like, at least something she could have done.
I mean, one of my guesses is they probably came in wands at the other people's throats, like hostage
yeah.
situation.
Right,
So
they
they
already
came
had
in
them.
like that, and Hermione is a defensive person, but she loves people more than she wants to like do that. So
Yeah.
immediately puts her wand down, gives it up. She sees that, and then Umbridge rips Harry's hair out. So I just want a definitive answer. Do you believe Harry or do you believe Hermione?
It's both. We already said that.
That's not acceptable to him.
Neither can be right.
I believe Harry. I think he's given us enough reason to trust him that I was looking for some blind faith from his friends here. So yeah, I was on his side, at least as I was reading. And I'm going back and forth, of course, in this discussion. But when I was reading, and I think even now, Harry's right. Come up with a plan, take action, maybe gather a little info.
Or if we play the other side, if I pretend to be you and play devil's advocate.
Ooh, nice.
And
Yes,
excited.
the turntables.
what if Creature has Sirius Black trapped in the attic and Harry's questioning him? Is he at the Ministry and then he's part of this plan to lure Harry Potter to this Ministry building?
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't tell you, or whatever. So it's like encouraging him to believe these dreams or
And Creature's doing that?
yeah.
Okay, let me read some of Creature's lines because I want to dissect some of his stuff. This is like the whole conversation that happens with them. Where is Sirius, Creature? Harry demanded. The house elf gave a wheezy chuckle. Master has gone out, Harry Potter. Where is he gone? Where is he gone, Creature? Creature merely cackled. I'm warning you, said Harry, fully aware that his scope for inflicting punishment on Creature was almost non-existent in this position. What about Lupin, Mad-Eye, any of them? Are any of them there? Nobody here but Creature, said the elf gleefully, and turning away from Harry, he began to walk slowly toward the door at the end of the kitchen. Creature thinks he will have a little chat with his mistress now. Yes, he hasn't had a chance in a long time. Creature's master has been keeping him away from her. Where has Sirius gone? Harry yelled after the elf. Creature, has he gone to the Department of Mysteries? Creature stopped in his tracks. Harry could just make out the back of his bald head through the forest of chair legs before him. Master does not tell poor Creature where he is going, said the elf quietly. But you know, shouted Harry. Don't you? You know where he is. There was a moment's silence, then the elf let out his loudest cackle yet. Master will not come back from the Department of Mysteries, he said gleefully. Creature and his mistress are alone again.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, he's very creepy. Okay, question number 1. Who is the master that he's talking about? Is that Sirius? Is that just obviously Sirius?
I thought that was serious.
Initially, but only for a moment. And then I was like, maybe he keeps talking about not Voldemort. That wouldn't make sense. The one who escaped from Azkaban. And for a moment, I thought he was talking about the portrait on the wall.
Mistress.
What's her name?
I don't know her name.
Well, that's not the
Kira.
mistress. Bellatrix Lestrange is the woman who he loves, but the mistress is Sirius's mother.
So he's going to go have a conversation.
Then I got that all wrong.
Creature and his mistress are alone again. So yeah, I guess like she could never really be the master. But I was thinking
that
Bellatrix.
word, the English word mistress, is a little different. So when we read Creature and his mistress are alone again, finally,
Yeah.
it's a little creepier. Okay, let's just say this is Sirius. Is he right? Is Sirius not going to come out from the Department of Mysteries? And does that mean something as much as he will die in the Department of Mysteries, or does that mean like he's going to find a job in the Department of Mysteries and not be able to leave? Is this something as ridiculous as that?
Maybe he can be trapped there forever. I don't know. I originally read it as everything's true, like what you were saying. Like, Sirius is being tortured there. He is actually there.
He's there,
Creature
yep.
knows about it, and he's like,
Happy about it.
yeah, happy.
Yep.
Telling Harry,
can't
yeah,
think
well,
that
you're
is-
never going to get him. He's going to be there forever.
So that would be if Bellatrix told Creature the plan before,
That's
after,
what I'm
during,
thinking.
and said, this is what's happening. He's going to be there. We're going to kill him at the end, or maybe he's going to get sucked into one of these orbs and, there's some other thing happening here. But, like, that's the plan. According to Creature.
Creature is just creepy in this instance.
The whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's got his nasty little like rag bed with the
Yeah.
picture of Bellatrix.
So, Jen, your theory is that Creature, is he lying about all this? Is he lying so that he can trick
I know,
Harry?
I don't know.
Because those were his orders. And so Harry's going to go to the ministry.
It could be. I don't know. I read it, like I said originally, like
Yeah.
Danny was saying. But I could also see it being Hermione's way. And it's following suit with like
With what their plan was.
lies. Yeah. I could see that working too.
Interesting. Another line. Snape gave her an ironic bow and turned to leave. Harry knew his last chance of letting the order know what was going on was walking out the door. He's got Padfoot, he shouted. He's got Padfoot at the place where it's hidden. Snape had stopped with his hand on Umbridge's door handle. Padfoot? Cried Professor Umbridge, looking eagerly from Harry to Snape. What is Padfoot? Where is what is hidden? Where what is hidden? What does he mean, Snape? Snape looked around at Harry. His face was inscrutable. Harry could not tell whether he had understood or not, but he did not dare speak more plainly in front of Umbridge. I have no idea, said Snape coldly. Is Snape good or bad? We will keep asking this question the entire book.
I thought Snape was acting.
Okay.
Because, like, I'm still thinking he's good, even though, I don't know, there's a very fine line I go back and forth between. But even if he did believe Harry, why would he say, yeah, oh, okay, like in front of Umbridge? Like, he's not going to agree to anything that I understand you in front of her. Like, that would be so dumb. Because you're not going to resolve anything that way.
Yeah.
This is great. Snape is now understanding what you said, and he's going to act the part as if you are clueless and whatever you're saying is garbage, because Umbridge would want in on that. And I think he was lying also about the Veritum serum.
Okay.
I don't think he needed a month to do it. I think he was just trying to get Harry out of a situation.
Do you think that he actually was supplying her with the real Veritaserum?
Maybe the first time, but he didn't know it was for Harry.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he said that in the line, I'm pretty sure. I didn't know, like, something about,
Yeah.
that was
Only
for
3
Harry.
drops would have done.
Yeah.
And it was only, and you used the whole thing.
Did she?
She's
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe she has some.
I don't know how much she had. I also got the idea she was using it on a bunch of other students in the meantime.
Yeah. You also get the idea that she's maniacal and she doesn't care about 3 drops. She's taking the whole thing and dumping it at Harry's because she's so,
Angry.
like righteously vindictive. That's the wrong word, but angry is the right
I
word.
feel like the recipe for this potion is
Basic
probably
words, Dan.
actually 30 days.
Sorry, what did you say?
I feel like the recipe actually would take 30 days. Only because it's known, but I bet Snape already made more. He might have a supply.
I'm just, I think, like, whatever it is, Snape was not giving it to her.
Because she is actually going crazy here. She reveals that she was the one who sent the Dementors to Little Whinging. And she's about to do the Cruciatus Curse on Harry to lift his tongue, which is just absurd.
A part of me was like, oh, yeah, do it, Umbridge, because this is the time he's actually going to be able to stand up mentally, because he was able to do that in Moody's class.
Yeah.
Imperious, yeah.
I
think he
guess
could
it was a little
resist?
different. But I was wondering if he could
in some
resist.
ways.
I was like, this is where we're going to see him actually do it.
Harry resisted the Imperious Curse. He resisted the Killing Curse.
Yep.
All he
The
needs
trifecta
now
right
is
here.
to resist the Cruciatus Curse. And he's hit.
That would be pretty epic.
So I was expecting to actually see that. Or even if so, I don't think he would give up information, even if he was tortured to death.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Voldemort is doing right now to Sirius. So we think. So it's almost like a parallel issue of she's doing this. She's about to do this to Harry. And it's just so disgusting. It's so maniacal.
I'm surprised all the other Slytherins were like fine with that. I totally understand they don't like Harry, but they're okay with watching her do that.
Like, yeah, this is like next level. This is not just you're a Slytherin. This is
And then even on this, so like Danny, when you're talking about she gave Veritaserum to other students, do you think this is how she obtained the information from the sneak from Marietta? Is Marietta really innocent, but she was just given Veritaserum? And
It certainly could be, yeah. And we're seeing what she's not only capable of, but willing to do. She's willing to cross all the lines that we would usually imagine. So yeah, absolutely could be. And even if it wasn't Veritaserum, it could be something else.
Yeah.
Everyone's got pressure points. So yeah, she threatens her mom's job for Marietta, things like that, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, she's not above anything. I feel like if Snape was bad, why didn't he tell Umbridge what Harry meant? Because he knows what Harry's trying to say, right?
I think he knows nicknames, doesn't he?
Yeah,
They
like
grew up
it
together,
feels
right?
like most likely he would.
So here's my idea or something like that. That would
Yeah.
slightly refute that. I think one of Jen's issues has been how are evil people not Death Eaters? And I think this kind of answers that question to a small extent, at least like possibly. It seems like it's right now split between Harry, Voldemort, and there's a few people in between. Like, again, even there's only 2 professors that are in the Order of the Phoenix. Why isn't Flitwick in the Order of the Phoenix? Why isn't Pomfrey in the Order of the Phoenix? Why aren't these good people in the Order of the
you're
Phoenix?
right.
And then you have people like, you know, some of these bad people. You're like, why are they not be Death Eaters? So that's the question. But Umbridge is like this neutral third evil. She's not really on Voldemort's side, but she's not at all on Harry's side. She's close.
Yeah.
Like we would view her as closer to Voldemort.
Yeah.
But she's got her own things that she wants to do. She just wants a complete government Ministry of Magic control.
Yeah, but she wants power, which is the same
Yep.
thing Voldemort wants.
Exactly,
So in
but-
the way, it's the same.
It's almost the
In
same,
her
but she wants power for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like
But
she's
it's
a
the
third
same
party
thing.
seeking power.
She doesn't want half-blood things either. They're very, very
No,
similar.
well, yeah. Does she want half-bloods?
It's
She
more like
doesn't.
mixed breeds, though.
Mixed
it's
breeds,
not,
not
yeah,
half-bloods.
But I think it could extend, like you're starting there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
It could
okay.
extend there.
Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't want mixed breeds. And then it could turn into, well, now actually that we've taken care of that, we shouldn't have half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we heard her mention that outright? She may have actually at some point, like
Maybe.
slightly looking down on Muggleborn.
So
Yeah,
like,
I
I
think she
get what you're
probably
saying.
would,
This is
too,
like a
yeah.
third party, but it's leaning. I don't know. This is like the beginnings of it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. And this is the beginning. And this is if like, let's do a World War II comparison. Like Mussolini or like Stalin and Hitler.
Oh, God. History?
Evil
Come
people. Both are on the same side.
Stalin,
Let's
yeah.
say the Axis wins. Both of them are probably not going to live harmoniously and perfectly. They might go up and fight each other. So as soon as evil has power here, Umbridge and Voldemort aren't going to coexist.
Right, because I was going to say she wants power for herself.
Yeah.
She's not going to
Yep.
bow down to
Yep.
someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was
She wants that power all on her own. And I
then
think
she would be
Voldemort would
cursed to
wipe
follow him,
her off the face of
Oh,
the
yeah.
earth.
Well, like Jen said, she
You're
couldn't even
almost
do
hoping that
magic.
happens,
He'd,
yeah.
be like, he'd flick her.
Yeah, I know.
You're
Ew.
done, bye.
And this is a note that makes Dumbledore actually really admirable because he doesn't do that. He could destroy Umbridge. He could have done that even in the office. He could have just killed her in the office when he was about to get sacked. But he's not going to do something like that. Even though this woman is
Yeah,
evil,
you're
and
right.
even though he wants power, or even that he doesn't want power, even though she wants power, he's not going to say, "Oh, you know, I'm just going to kill you because you're an evil person." So there's like a weird system going on right here where she's like this weird entity that exists that it's hard to get a grasp on. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is so tough.
I know. But what do you think Hermione is actually leading them to? Do you guys think it's Grop? Do you think it's...
I only thought that here, like when I was reading it, I couldn't come up with it, but I was just trying to think of what tools they have. Not a lot. But they got Grop. And it would be the perfect location because it's so deep in the forest. It's mysterious, far from everything. Yeah.
Do you think that Hermione possibly knows where Dumbledore or Hagrid went? Could she be leading them to them?
I don't think she could be doing that.
I don't think that would be smart.
But it could if it was just Umbridge. But how would she know?
But that's how she's getting Umbridge all on her own. And Hermione is doing that brilliantly through the end of this chapter.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing. Maybe not Hagrid, though.
I love when Hermione is like instigating her. She's like, "Oh, I hope that you bring other students here so they would see this and they're going to use this weapon against you." She's just like talking.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, such a good game right there.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. it'd be impressive if she knew where Dumbledore was or Hagrid. And she might have her theories because she knows a lot. She reads so much. She probably knows a couple of wizard secrets that are not really secrets, but you have to like look it up. Yeah, she probably has some educated guesses, but I don't think she knows. Because I guess once you can get out of the Hogwarts area on your broom, you could apparate anywhere. I mean, there are probably weird wizard hangouts or underground bunkers anywhere. So she might know.
All right, random question. This is the last one we'll do on this. Just give me, I don't know how blunt to be about this question. Give me just, we've talked about Endgame predictions for, let's just talk about it for this book specifically. If we're talking Endgame predictions for this book, where are we at the end of this book? I mean, Danny, you've been talking about how, like, even you mentioned before, like, he has to do this in public so they know Voldemort is out there or something like that. Is something like that going to happen? Even like Jen, you're talking about how like this whole thing with Creature is all messed up and ugly. Is he really going to be like the whole linchpin in this whole investigation?
Sure hope not.
What's going to happen at the end of it? Like, where are we headed? What is the end goal for this book? How does this book end?
You want to go first?
Does anybody die?
Yes.
Does anybody live? Can anyone live?
Can anyone live?
I feel like she wraps up her stories pretty good though. Like the last few, there's always, it ends like nicely, even if we don't like it.
Right.
Like we didn't think Voldemort was going to rise so quickly. So in this book, I'm thinking they are going to get to the Department of Mysteries, and we're going to figure out what that is. And we're going to either have a student that goes with them that's going to die, maybe. I hope not, but I could see that
student.
Oh my gosh.
Sounded like a game show. That student.
I don't know. I feel like I don't think it would be the trio though. I'm not sure.
Not yet.
Neville, Ginny. That all suck.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Or what if the twins come to help them?
One of the twins.
Fred and
Do you think
George.
one or both of them would die?
I don't know.
Wait, actually, where are the twins?
They're at aren't they at Hogsmeade? So maybe they're gonna go to
the
them.
twins then.
No, they're at Diagon Alley,
Whatever.
which is pretty much.
Oh yes, because they
yeah.
opened the shop.
Yeah.
They could still go.
But
there.
they're still great, helpers in this time.
Why didn't we think of them?
They weren't even on my radar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Mrs. Weasley. Like they just got to get to people that can help them because they cannot do this on their
I feel like it's gonna be more people from the Order getting involved in the end of this book, helping to stop what Voldemort wants to get, this weapon, or maybe he does get the weapon somehow. Like, and then the next book is gonna show how they
use the weapon.
How they have to get it back or stop him or something like that.
So will everyone know Voldemort is back by the end of this book? Because that's what I'm wondering.
I think I'm wondering if he gets his weapon, now he's powerful and he is able to do what he wants, then he's going to show his face because then he could be prideful about it.
Yeah.
And then people will know. And then Dumbledore will be like, well, I told you guys to get in order and get ready. And then the ministry will be all messed up and in chaos, which is good for Voldemort because they're trying just to figure out what to do. Voldemort already got what he wanted and his growing and his power and his Death Eaters. And Dumbledore is aware of everything that is going on and getting his clan, the Order and plan, although they might be dealing with some deaths or something from they're healing from.
So by the end of it, that sounds fair.
That's great.
Like by the end of it, Voldemort escapes. He uses.
Worry right now. He's like, tell me more.
He could use Harry or Sirius or whoever else to get the weapon.
Maybe Sirius dies. I hope not.
That would make sense. I wouldn't be.
And Creature is a part of it.
No, I'd be sad.
You would
Did you just say you wouldn't be that sad?
Yeah, not-
Smack him.
No, I'd be sad. But not that sad. No, it would be terrible, but
Oh, I want
I'd
Umbridge.
rather it be him
Umbridge
than,
going to
like,
be in the
Neville or,
crossfire of everything.
Do you think Umbridge is going to die? I
Jen
picture
is going to insert herself into this book and murder Umbridge.
Well, Umbridge
And then we're going to find out
Raw.
Umbridge is going to take sides with Voldemort. Oh, you're against them? I want to be on your side too.
Cold.
I can't see her turning good.
No, I can't either. She won't be good even if she's on the good side against Voldemort.
Yeah, so she's got to go.
Yeah, she might die. Although, how would she end up at the Ministry if they somehow subdue her and then can get to the Ministry? I picture...
She has to go back because everything's revealed now. Then they take her out of the school.
Oh, yeah.
We need
like
you
after there's a bit of a wrap up and they have to
Yeah.
like, you know... Well, who would...
to come back.
Would we like Fudge or would they replace him at the Ministry?
Maybe he'll die too.
Jen's just killing everyone.
I know.
You could
Jen's
be
right in
right.
this book. She's like, you're dead. You're dead.
Like
you're
that would
dead.
be nice in some ways because it would simplify things, but I'm afraid if people die, it's going to be people I don't want to die.
Probably. Because why would
Who don't you want to die? You're okay
The
with
Creevy brothers, the three.
He's okay with
Luna,
Sirius
Ginny,
dying.
Neville.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
Luna.
I'm like, if Sirius dies, at least it's not Ginny or Neville or Luna. Although Luna maybe could die. Again, I don't want her
No,
to.
I feel like
but we're
she's
trying
got-
to choose
I
out of the
think she
six,
has
and
some
I'm like,
magical
they can't all
powers.
survive against Voldemort. You know what I mean? Cedric
What?
dies like that against Voldemort, and Voldemort only needs Harry. He doesn't need these other people. So I'm like, if they all show up, it's not going to be good for them. He didn't hesitate for a second to kill Cedric. He only needed Harry, killed Cedric instantly, and I think he would do the same to them. So unless they come up with a good plan, it's not going to be good for their chance of survival. But maybe he needs Harry. Harry can use that as leverage. I won't help you if you kill anyone, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets the weapon. He's about to kill Harry. Dumbledore comes in, saves the day. Voldemort gets away. And then that sets the stage. Dumbledore could take over the Ministry.
Ooh, wow. Is Dumbledore someone who wants power?
No.
No, but he wants
Order.
good to win. And he knows how to use the tools and authority and power to accomplish that, I think.
I feel like you want someone in charge that doesn't want power.
Yeah,
I wonder
so true.
though,
Yeah.
like I wonder if it gets exposed and Fudge is out because you didn't listen to Dumbledore. And Dumbledore, what do you want to
Yep.
do with the Ministry?
If it does get exposed, Fudge is probably gone, right?
Yeah, I would think
It would
so.
make sense, yeah, because why would
like a
anyone trust him?
people's
It'd be
revolt,
his
yeah.
fault, you know? And
Yeah.
that would be also
And he's
good reason to
also
let somebody die.
too close to Lucius Malfoy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And if they get exposed as a
Snape
Death
too,
Eater,
Lucius speaks very highly of him. I didn't like that. Like that was like, ooh,
Lucius
that's
speaks very
Yeah.
highly
Umbridge
of.
said that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh yeah, maybe even though
Lucius
Snape
speaks very highly of.
Snape.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, that's what Umbridge was saying. And then I was like, so even if Snape knows all this stuff and isn't saying anything, if Snape is bad and Umbridge is bad, then Snape and Umbridge we're assuming would know the same information. Maybe Umbridge already knew what that meant with Padfoot, with whatever, because maybe she already heard the whole story. So either way, I'm like, it's not good that Lucius speaks highly of Snape.
But yeah, I don't think.
Could somebody
If
die?
Snape is actually good, which I'm hoping he is, he's really good at playing into the role
That's
of
fair. Yeah.
like double-sided, a double agent, whatever.
yeah.
So to me, that Lucius speaking highly of him is good.
Because it means he's playing his role well.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You guys brought up such an interesting point that is going to make me ask our subreddit all sorts of questions on this. And I can't really talk about it here.
I
Cool.
feel like you know people would be mad at Fudge no matter what, but they'd be more mad if somebody died. But who would die that they would care about? Sirius? By the end of this book, will
Everyone-
people know that
anyone in
Sirius
the
is
order.
good?
Danny, you think that Ginny was the first one to stand up from the table, or Mrs. Weasley? By the way, it's Mother's Day in the UK. Some people are coming on and saying that. So happy
nice.
Mother's Day,
Happy Mother's
Mrs.
Day,
Weasley.
all you UK moms listening to us.
Is Mrs. Weasley going to show up? Is she going to die? Who was the first one to stand up at the table, Danny?
Maybe Mrs. Weasley twice to get dessert the first time post dinner, and then to walk up to the room with Ginny. honestly, she should show up because they should go to her before they go charging into the Ministry like crazy kids. Will they do that? I don't know. Maybe Mrs. Weasley's on guard duty right outside and has no idea that Voldemort is behind those doors. But if she's there, it does not bode well for her. Then maybe that's the catalyst for change. I'm thinking of that ironic line Ron said or somebody said about it's more likely, that's as likely to happen as my father to be the head of the Ministry of Magic. I'm like,
maybe. Nice little foreshadowing.
I would love
Arthur
it if he
Weasley.
was the head by the end of it. I don't know if he'd be good at it, but you can't get worse than Fudge.
But maybe
like it would just be so
Dumbledore will be in
chaotic.
charge
He would be so bad.
of
in some ways,
appointing
but-
things.
But you know what? He would delegate well. He would make sure that the Wizengamot was full of responsible wizards that were balanced and fair, and then they could make decisions that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite moment? Favorite character? Who wins the House Cup? Hot Tamale Award.
I like Hermione was very clever with Umbridge crying and stopping
That
the
was.
Cruciatus curse. So I thought that was really great. So probably my favorite character for that.
Yeah. Hermione gets House Cup.
Yeah. Because she really did save the day. That would have been bad. Favorite moment? Scene? Oh, gosh. I didn't write down anything, so there's nothing good. Like everything's like bad that happens in this.
Yeah,
so
you're
like
right.
Yeah.
a favorite, I don't know.
It's like stressful. They're studying for finals and
Yep.
they have finals, or
There was a little moment in between.
they played Wizards chess.
No, it was
That was a good moment.
right before they were stargazing. Hold on. Right before Hagrid. That whole part. Hold on.
I liked when Harry did his Patronus for the bonus point.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
good moment.
You know,
Oh, that's good. I'll take that.
they were one of the very few good moments.
This was the typical Kristen favorite moment. It says when they reached the top of the astronomy tower at 11 o'clock, they found a perfect night for stargazing. Cloudless and still, the grounds were bathed in silvery moonlight, and there was a slight chill in the air. I was just like, like
A moment of calm.
Great.
because it was like all the studying and the exams, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's a
You
great
guys keep
quiet
going.
moment, calm before the storm.
Yeah.
I do like the moments in these chapters where you get the unbiased people who are the examiners. They come in and they almost see how terrible Umbridge is and everything bad happening. And they're like agreeing with how terrible it is. They're like,
Yep.
4 against 1, that's like absurd. So I like that moment. You guys have favorite
tamale.
characters? Did we go over? Did you guys say favorite
McGonagall, the
characters?
hot tamale.
I'm gonna give
Who's that, Molly?
McGonagall when she goes up against them, she doesn't even
Yeah.
know.
Ooh, that's a
It's
good
not
one.
really, but
It is a hot tamale, yeah.
because she's like, "How dare you guys do this to Hagrid?
Griselda Marchbanks, hot tamale.
Who's that?"
She was the one who
old
spoke
lady.
back to Umbridge at the beginning, and she's like, "I've seen what Dumbledore can do. Like, if he doesn't want to be found, you'll never find him." She
that
seems
was
spicy.
good.
That's why. But I'm going to give Hermione the House Cup.
Yeah, I feel like I want to
And,
give
yeah, I said my
Hermione
favorite
that too.
moment.
I have no
Yeah.
idea for a hot tamale.
But Danny, you're giving it to her, but you don't believe her. You believe Harry.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. But she came up with a plan at the end.
Yeah.
That's why I'm giving it to her, because if it wasn't for her, well, it might be her fault if Sirius dies, and then I'll be mad at her, potentially. But if she's right, then I'm sorry, Hermione, forgive me. But at the end, she's still the only one that's like proactive in coming up with whatever this plan is.
Yeah.
I assume she has some plan. She's at least buying them time, at the least. They're all doing pretty well, but that stands out. I think everything else is just kind of like going through the motions of the owls, the OWLs. So
I'm giving hot tamale to McGonagall for her defense. Like it's having like a woman come and defend you real quick like that. It's kind of nice, you know. Like I'm gonna come at you guns a blazing. And even though like Hagrid's throwing people like 10 feet in the air, about to kill some people, she still comes after him. It's like kind of nice. It's like cute little McGonagall, but she's like dangerous. And then I'm gonna give the my favorite character in these chapters, the House Cup, I think is Ginny for me.
Whoa, nice.
Because for a few small things that she does, she's not in these chapters really that much, but I love that she is creative and she comes up with a good plan.
Yep.
Like there's gas in there and she's telling other students how ridiculous they are if they want to go down there and,
that was
be pulling
good.
out dead bodies. And then she also agrees for the plan without knowing anything. I love her friendship and trust in these people and her willingness to like action quick. She was what Harry almost needed. If everything is
you're
true,
right.
she's what Harry needed in order to have whatever this action has happened.
Yep.
She's what Harry needs, is what you're saying?
And will they end up getting into
Well,
a relationship?
well.
Yeah, you think
I
that?
can see it more and more now.
Yeah.
Now she's become such a hot tamale.
I know,
Yeah,
she's
I
a
can
hot
see it more.
tamale. Yeah.
And Luna's a little bit too aloof. I like Luna, but
She's the banana pepper of the group.
it felt weird because
A little out there.
I love banana peppers. They're yummy.
I love banana peppers too. They're
Me
great, but
too.
they're weird. They're weirdly named.
yeah.
Why are they called banana peppers?
Expecting that.
Because they look like it? I don't know. Maybe.
Did you guys all give your awards? Do you say you're hot tamale?
Yeah, Marchbanks.
You say you're hot tamale?
No, I can't. I don't know.
I mean, Ron was pretty dashing in these books.
Ooh, respect.
In these chapters.
Let me see. It's pretty dashing.
Jen, who was your hot tamale again?
McGonagall, which you just copied me.
No, I gave. Yeah, no, I didn't. I gave
Actually,
hot tamale
one
to
of-
McGonagall.
Something that Ron said. Such a lovely, sweet-tempered girl.
Wait, what?
I'll just give it to him for
He
that.
said that about Hermione.
About Hermione.
When she
She,
was
like-
freaked out over some
Yeah.
students, right?
Yeah.
He
I
is
love that.
so funny.
Yeah.
think I
Ron's
remember.
comedic relief in
about
this is
that.
great.
Oh, yeah. Refreshing.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
Thanks, guys.
Until next time.
Those are delicious.
I know, the peanut butter, dark chocolate peanut butter cups, everything here, all the Trader Joe's. We're going to make Danny a believer in Trader Joe's snacks now.
Oh, that's right. Isn't it? Trader Joe's.